Welcome back. I am very late doing this video. Today is July 9th. We're going to talk about what I feel like is the best of the best of skincare and makeup for 2024. I know it's kind of contradictory in a way because y'all know when I like a brand, I tend to stick to it. So how do I know if it's the best if I haven't tried them all? If you want to hear who tried them all, Joe Beauty 87. She will be an amazing channel to watch. Today I was watching her best of 2024 and she talks about a whole lot more stuff than what I'm going to talk about because y'all know me and my sensitive skin and my predictable self. I stick with the same stuff, and if I like a brand, I will try multiple things from that brand. But what we're going to do today, as far as the intro to Crazy Troll Nation, crazy knowing it's okay to be yourself. Troll part is wearing what you want to wear, wearing. Why do I always say wearing? Funny. Wearing whatever you want to wear, using whatever tool, whatever products in a way that you are satisfied with it. The bottom line is self-acceptance and self-love. Embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. I'm rushing because I have a live stream that's starting in like 40 minutes. So I may come back later and finish this video. I do curse. I need to let you know that because I almost did a few times already. I curse in my day-to-day life. It's just a part of how I roll with it. And there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches, and I always say excuse me whether I think you heard it or not. So I pulled out some stuff. Some of it is going to be very redundant and y'all going to be like, I know such and such is going to be in there, and you know what, you're right, such and such is going to be in here. But we have our face on. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, well, to set the face, I'm going to talk about the Skindinavia, the makeup finishing spray. This is the bridal formula. The regular one, it says up to, I think, 16 hours. The bridal one I saw, it said over 16 hours. I haven't tested it, so I don't know. But I love this stuff. It has a fine mist. And you see that? It is really nice. It just... But it's really nice and I do like it, and I liked it back in the day, but back in the day it made my skin it made me shiny back in the day. But since then my skincare routine is on point, and this was on sale. It's been 20% off on their website plus 2 free minis on the website for like 6 months now, and so I have quite a few. And so because I like that so much, I did try their primer spray. I didn't care for it. It made my skin feel dry, and so I gave that away to one of my troll kin, and they think it's okay. And I also really like the makeup removal. I said removal, funny. Removal spray with vitamin E. Now, how I remove my makeup, I know some people do not like wipes. I know that. I use wipes, Neutrogena, and I just buy the refill packs and put inside the Neutrogena container. You can get them cheaper than what they cost at Ulta. I'm gonna just tell you that now. And if you're near BJ's, sometimes they have a coupon for the Neutrogena wipes, and it's in a box. It's bulk in a box. It's bulk in a box. Y'all know how BJ, Sam's Club, Costco's is. Everything is in a huge box. So, but you get a lot of these, and it comes out way cheaper than just buying 1 or 2 of these. And so when I run out of here, I just go in my closet, grab another one, put it in the container. So what I do is, the reason I use wipes is because my lower lash line, my upper lash line, and my inner rims, and using a cleansing balm or a cleansing oil, it does not get to my inner rims because you're not even supposed to get that stuff in your eye. So I've always ran into, okay, I'm using cleansers, oils, what about my lower lash line, inner rims, mascara? So I always ended up going back to wipes. And so what I do is I will use the wipe, and I will spray twice with the makeup removal spray, and I'll do 1, 2, 3, and it makes removing my makeup so freaking easy. This is how this sprays. Oh, this one I didn't use yet. Oh, I'm not going to spray it. That one I didn't use yet, but it sprays just like, this is not the one in my bathroom that I use. I pulled this out of the closet to show you. Yeah, but it sprays like how the finishing spray sprays. And so lately though, sometimes I'll still spray the wipe, but sometimes I don't. And it still works the same regardless. And so I really don't need to spray the wipe before I spray my face. Using the wipe works really well, but I have to put in a little bit more work for my eyeshadow, mascara, eyeliner. Whereas when I spray with the Skindinavia makeup removal spray, it just glides it off. Another thing I'll do is I'll take a wipe and I'll put some micellar water on it, or the prime water from, I forget what the brand was, and they sent it to me. It wasn't Prime, I want to say Prime Cosmetics, but I don't think it was Prime Cosmetics. But anyway, so either I would use the prime water, which I really like, it doesn't irritate my eyes, doesn't irritate my skin, or my solar water, but lately it's been the makeup removal spray. So even if I just do 3 sprays on my face, use this, my makeup, this it just, and it is so fast. And so if you want to get in on the 20% off sale that's been running for like 6 months now, I do recommend trying the makeup removal spray, and I do recommend the finishing spray. The finishing spray does come in 2 separate sizes. This is the 8 ounce. I opened this in November last year. The PAO is 24 months. I'm halfway through it, and I started using this in November. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 8 months, and I'm halfway through this because this is the only one that I use. The makeup removal spray, remover spray, it says, it's only 4 ounces. They do not have a large one in this, and I wish that they did, but they don't. But I really wish they did, but I do have backup stars. As I said, this one I haven't even used yet because I'm using the one that's in my bathroom. So that's how I remove my makeup, and it is just so easy, and it's so quick. And this leaves my skin just feeling very clean, very smooth, and it's got to be the vitamin E that's in it, but I do still double cleanse afterward. But if I don't wash my face right away, my skin is feeling like this is really nice. Another thing, skincare, we're going to talk about. I have purchased, somewhat on a whim but somewhat not, the Drunk Elephant Itty Bitty Midi Committee. These are all small size, and what's in here, where am I going to put stuff? Y'all know me with space. So what it comes with is C Firma Fresh Day Serum, and all of these are 0.5 ounces. This you had to mix, and so it came with this, and it came with the powder. So you put the powder inside and then shake it up, and that's how you do that. Because when I opened it here in a video, I was like, what's all these pieces and parts? Like, I gotta put this together. But if you buy the full size, it's already mixed. So I don't know why it was like that for this one. I do still love the Peter Thomas Roth Vitamin Potency Vitamin Serum something. Y'all, that sucker is like $102 now. Might be $105 by now. And I do have backups. But my mind is like, can I find something that's a little bit less expensive? And I messed around and tried Drunk Elephant because something came in Ipsy back when I was getting Ipsy or whatever. And my skin was like, I noticed the difference the first use. And I was like, oh, not Drunk Elephant. What? And so what also comes in there is the TLC Framboise Glycolic Night Serum. And I did look up glycolic. Glycolic acid is an AHA, an alpha hydroxy acid. So when I use the Dr. Dennis Gross alpha beta pills, I will not use this. And I also have a glycolic serum from Peter Thomas Roth. And so I alternate Peter with this one, but never on the same night as I use the alpha beta pills, because this is an AHA and this actually stays on the skin. Whereas the alpha beta pills, you put it on and then you use the neutralizing wipe. And I didn't bring that here. I have that in my skincare playlist. But I really do like this. My skin loves this stuff, y'all. And I'm just like, what? Because my skin is so sensitive. Stuff be breaking me out, itching, bumps and stuff. And so when something works, I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. And it also came with, and I knew I liked this one. And I like how they have different colored caps and everything opens like this. Pop up. You pump it out, turn it, easy peasy. And these are easy to travel with, and I have traveled with these, and it is so easy. So that one I knew I liked. This one I knew I liked. This one was brand new to me. B Hydra Intensive Hydration Serum, Pineapple Ceramide Pro Vitamin B5. I was skeptical about this because when I take B vitamin supplements, I break out in hives. When I take multivitamins, I break out in hives because they all have B vitamin complex in it. So I know I cannot just take B vitamin supplements, whether it's in a multivitamin or not. And Olay had a B vitamin serum, and I used it. My whole face broke out. So when I saw this, I'm like, ooh, Pro Vitamin B5. But I don't know which vitamin B I'm allergic to because it's always been like in a complex with, 3 or 4 other different vitamin Bs. But I tried this one. Y'all. Okay, this was this box, right? I bought another one. when Ulta had their point multiplier. I'm like, this, because it's really great for travel. This right here, and it took me like a week to try it because I'm thinking, okay, the vitamin B part is going to break my face or whatever. No. And what's interesting about this, my skin is not dry, it's not oily, it's just regular. When I get overheated and I sweat, yes, my T-zone looks oily, but just on a regular day, you know, not oily, not dry or anything. And so I put this on, Be Hydra Intensive Hydrating Serum. So let me tell you about this. When I try something new, I wash my face, pat it dry. Oh shoot, my lighting just got dark and then it got bright again. Excuse me for that. I don't know what to do about it. I will just wash my face, pat it dry, wait a little bit, make sure my skin is really dry. Well, not overly dry, but just dry from the water from washing it. And then I'll put whatever the new product is on my skin, and that will be the only thing I put on because I want to see what it's going to do. So I did that with this. And so, you know, you turn it, pump it, put it on my skin, right? And I was just like, this feels really slick. It feels like a gel. Even though it says a serum, it feels like a gel. But it went on very nice, and I was just like, this feels really good. And I was like, oh my gosh, this feels really good. So I waited a little while, and my face felt, I don't want to say slimy, but it felt like I had something on my skin. And it felt like if I touched it, it would wipe off. Like when you're sweaty, if you do like this, and it'll be like, ugh. Or if you put on a thick cream and it doesn't soak in, and it just kind of like, ew, like it feels like, my skin felt like it was product on my skin. But when I touched it, nothing moved. I was just like, so why is my skin feeling so hydrated? That's what it was. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I felt it on my skin, but it was absorbed into my skin, and my skin did feel like, my skin felt plump. And I'm like, did I say plump funny? I feel like I said plump. Yo, I'm tripping. This was like the weirdest thing. And so then even when I started using it over other products, it'll feel like it's there, but when I touch my skin, it feels like it does now. It doesn't feel wet, it doesn't feel slick, it doesn't feel slimy, but it just feels like extra hydrated. Like this right here. And that's why I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and buy another little one, because I have Peter stuff, I have dentist stuff. And so this will be if I just want to do something different that night or to travel with, because these are great. And you don't have to worry about them opening, dripping, leaking, whatever. So I love how they open and close. And I love all the pretty colors. I really do. Like, it's unique to, you know, other stuff. When I'm looking in my caboodle with my skincare stuff, I know exactly what's what. So the first thing I had gotten that I really love that came in subscription box was Drunk Elephant Proteiny Power Peptide Resurf Serum. 10% lactic acid, 11 signal peptides. This is what I had asked when I opened it way back when I had received it. Like, should I try it? Because this at the time was $82 and it came in an Ipsy subscription box. And so you guys were like, go ahead and try it. And I tried it. It says don't get under your eyes, but I put it here and I came along here and my eyes were burning. So after 20 minutes, I washed it off. My skin looked so good. It looked clearer. I was like, wait a minute, that's only been 20 minutes. And so going like this with it, it was too close to my eye area. And so now I'll just put like some up here and then I'll come down here. Like, I don't do over here at all. So I just do my forehead, come down, do my puffy cheeks and my chin and get over, you know. The first time I tried it, and for skincare, sometimes they'll say it might take, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks. This, I noticed the difference right away. And that's what made me think, do I want to try other Drunk Elephant stuff? And so thank you to those of you who encouraged me to try this, because now y'all see I got all this other Drunk Elephant stuff. So, and with that, Bouncy Bright Facial Mask Illuminator. This says it should be the last step, and it says on here somewhere, last step in your skincare routine. So after I do everything else, this is the last thing I put on. This is thicker, but it absorbs really well. It does take time to settle in, and I think it's because I have on other serums, other creams, you know, whatever else. And so I don't use this every day. I may use this a few times a week. I may use this a couple times a week, and it depends on what my skin is doing. When I go away, I use this, and then I'll also take dentist his alpha beta pills and other stuff, because when I'm away, like, the water's different, the environment's different, and it does affect my skin. But this I really love. I do have an Ulta link below. I have a Drunk Elephant link below too, but I think Ulta would be your best bet for anything Drunk Elephant because of the coupons when it includes prestige, and also when they have their point multipliers, and when they have like their skincare deals, because this stuff is expensive. Drunk Elephant, they trying to get money for more alcohol because it is really expensive. But me having sensitive skin, my skin loves it. And so what we're going to switch up right now, and we're going to talk about, and I'm looking at the clock, Sephora Collection Cream Lip Stain Liquid Lipsticks. I only have 4 because I kept the darkest shades. I didn't keep the black one because I have Max Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color. These are the colors I have. So we have, this is a dark brown. This is, actually I think this is called Black Cherry. This one is Dark Forest, which is a green. This one is dark purple. It is a dark purple, and I know that because high label whore here. And this one is Sea Queen, which is like a funky bluish, but depending on what my eye look is, it's just like, okay, wow, this really works. They do have neutral tones, rosy tones, nudes. They have a wide range. When Sephora Collection stuff is 30% off, that's when I would recommend getting this, and I do have a link for Sephora below as well. These I think are normally $15 and some change. When they're on sale, they're like $10 and some change. You cannot beat that if you like liquid lipsticks. And I am a liquid lipstick girl because it doesn't move. And once these dry down, if you try to wipe it off with a paper towel, it will shred the paper towel. Like, once this dries down, this does not come off for me. And so I do really like these. I do recommend them. They never leave my lips feeling dry. And even after I remove it with a wipe, my lips still never feel dry. And even wearing them, my lips don't feel dry. And so I really do enjoy those. I'm going to switch. I know I'm just hopping around. Hopefully it's making it interesting for you. The last thing I think I'm going to talk about right now, 2 things. I have a link for this below too. These are the sponge tip applicators that I use, and you've seen me use it. There's 2 sides here, there's 2 sides here. I use these for flaky shades, shimmers, metallics, dual chromes, multi-chromes. If I want to amp up the color, I'll use this because I don't like to use my fingers for makeup. And so if you don't want to use your fingers for makeup, this for me mimics a finger application just to amp up a shadow. And I do really like these. It comes in a pack of 30 and the price is reasonable considering you have 4 sides you can use. And I am never without them. If I need, you know, a few dollars more to get to, what is it, $35 for free shipping, I'll just put a couple of those in my cart because I know I'm going to use them. Also, the lipstick applicators, I don't know if I have a link for this below, but these I use to remove some chapstick or Tillamook. When I start videos, unless I have something already on my lips, I will put on chapstick or Tillamook, and I'll use this at the end of the look just to wipe off a little bit before I put on my lipstick. And these are handy for that. And also, if you're a professional makeup artist, you might want to have lipstick applicators because you don't want to put your tube of lipstick on different clients' lips. And so this is handy for that. This also I use for if my eyes are tearing, I'll just stick it right in my tear duct area to let it absorb the moisture. So this has more purposes than that. Sometimes if my mascara flakes, wait for it to dry, I'll take this and just use it to unflake it, to get it off. It'll flick right off. You can use this for, you know, to wing out your eyeliner or to clean up your eyeliner. So something like this little teeny tiny thing, it comes in a pack of like 500. It's ridiculous. So I have a ton of them too. But these, even though it's a lipstick applicator, they can be used for more than just that. And now we're going to switch to gel eyeliners. I use gel eyeliners for my upper lash line. Lower lash line, I use pencil liners, either the Sephora Collection or Matte Color Excess, or there's an older Sephora one which seems to be phasing out, and it's the 12-hour retractable ones, and I think they're being replaced with just the, let me see if I can grab one really quick. They seem to be being replaced, and of course I can't grab one really quick. No. I'm pulling out everything, but here's one. It seems like they're being replaced with just the Ultimate Gel eyeliners, but for me they work the same. I have sensitive lids, sensitive water lines. It does not aggravate my inner rims. And I already mentioned I do use the matte color excess, and of course my first all-time go-to, aside from Buxom Inside Eyeliner back in the day, which they don't make anymore, is NYX retractable eyeliners. They do not irritate my inner rims. And so I am glad that I tried the MAC ones and the new Sephora ones. And even though this looks really light, this does show up. I was really surprised. That's from Sephora. And again, when Sephora collection stuff is 30% off, I do recommend you try that. And so I'm giving you options here. So we have an inexpensive lippy, we have inexpensive eyeliners for lower lash line and inner rims, and somewhat inexpensive is gel liners that I use for my upper lash line. So I have Inglot, and I have 2, 4, 6, I have 7 different colors. And I get them from Amazon. On the Inglot website, I think they're like $22 or $24. On Amazon, they range from like $15 to $18. And so these are the different colors that I have. You've seen me. Oh Lord, excuse me. Excuse me. I would have dropped one, right? So the PAO is 9 months. They dry out for me around 7 months. You can put Doraline in it or another mixing medium. I haven't tried it because I'm paranoid that it's going to irritate my rims. But because the price is so inexpensive, and by the time the 7, 8 months come, like I've really used enough where I don't feel like I'm wasting money buying another one. The red one I have had twice so far because it did dry out on me after like 7 or 8 months. And they don't have names, they have numbers. This is number 79, and I have it on today, which is kind of eaten up because I'm wearing a dark purple look, but that's 79. The purple is 75, and it's a matte purple. Like, these shades are gorgeous. They go on really smooth. When they dry, all of my eye makeup can be off, and I'll look and I'll see some eyeliner over here, the Inglot. This stuff stays. This is my newest one. This is number 99, because I'm like, this is kind of cute. It looks like it wants to be a metallic, and so I was like, let's try that. So this is really cute. I don't want to get close because then the lighting gets funky, because my camera, my phone, it auto focuses and it changes the lighting. I autofocus in, it'll autofocus. I'm speaking gibberish. It will autofocus when I bring something close, and then when I come back again, it just goes dark. And so that's why I'm kind of staying back here. This one is number 87. So this is like a blue teal color. When I did my Pride look, I used the Inglot liners and some other liners too. And so that was what I used for the Pride look, was just graphic eyeliner. And I really like how that turned out. This is a green. This is number 86. They go on really nice, and they stay on. Once they dry, they dry. I messed around once and put them on my lower lash line, and then when it dried, every time I would blink, I could feel it because my skin was so tight under here. So I do not put these on lower lash line. This one is number 84. This one is fun. This one will pop any eye look. If you just want to pop, use that one, or number 76. This is a white. This one is the creamiest one, and I always forget until I use it, because then I put it on and I'm just like, oh shit, how am I going to fix it? Because it just spreads everywhere. What else am I going to talk about really quick before we go? When we come back, we're going to talk about eyeshadow palettes. But what I have on my face today, Fenty face primer and Fenty soft matte foundation shade 335. This has been my go-to when my skin was going through being dry, breakouts, whatever. When I was having skin issues and hives and all of that, I stopped using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place, which is full coverage. I really like it, but because my skin was so dry, it was accentuating the dryness and the texture around here and on my chin. And so I've been using this one. The soft matte for me does oxidize. They initially matched me to 310. As the day went on, I got more and more pink. I'm like, I am not pink. And then they matched me to 330. As the day went on, I got more and more red. I'm like, I am not red. So when they came out with additional colors, and I really liked the formula, so I wanted to keep trying different shades. And so I tried 335. And when you see me in videos doing a full get ready with me, it looks really light. It's like, that ain't her shade. But once I blend it out, look at this. This is my shade. So the soft matte does oxidize. I tried the hydrating one. It does not oxidize, which is curious, but then not, because it is a different formula. But I didn't like how dewy / oily / greasy it made my skin look. And so for me, it's the soft matte and the foundation, the face primer, excuse me. And I do also like the Pat McGrath M18 which blends in so well. It doesn't do anything at all for the redness here, my mustache area, or my under eye discoloration. But it is up here when I put it on, and over here when I put it on, you cannot even tell I have it on. So if you do not have stuff you want to cover up, I do recommend the Pat. It is expensive though. I have a link for her site, and a link for Fenty, and a link for Ulta. I recommend Ulta for a lot of stuff because of the point multiplier, the coupons that include prestige items, and there are other deals that they have. And so Ulta is kind of my go-to, except for stuff that Ulta doesn't sell, such as, last thing before we may come back and talk about eyeshadow palettes, Haus Labs. 2 bronzers, 7 blushes, 4 highlighters. When I like something, y'all, I want them all. I want them all. And my first, and I'm glad that I purchased the Haus Labs before they shrunk down the size and only reduced the price by $6. And I know a lot of people aren't bothered by it. Give me the product. Give me the product. The first one that I purchased was Hibiscus Haze because I put it on, I cannot go wrong with this. And this looks perfect on me. And I'm like, that's not what I'm wearing today, so I don't know why I'm doing that. So that's Hibiscus Haze. And my next one, I was really curious about a Size Sky because it is just so pretty. Look at y'all. The first time I put it on, I was like, oh shit, how can I tone it down? But this, it blends out her formula. Her bronzers, her highlighters, her blushes, they blend out so freaking well. Like, this looks so nice on me, as rich as it is. And I love that how I can pick up any of these at random and it's going to work. So then I was curious about Lavender Blonde, which is this one. This is the one I have on today. This looks like a natural cheek situation thing, right? Like, I went away on a trip, Pomelo Peach. This is also like really nice on me. I went away, it was a 5-day trip. I took all 5 of these, and each day I just picked one at random, and it went with whatever eyeshadow look I was doing. Like, I can use these interchangeably, and it just always looks really nice. And this one is Watermelon Bliss. This is described as a universal red. This is like, woo, but when you blend it out, it's like, ooh. So that's something I learned taking all 5 of these. I can just pick it up. It's going to go with whatever I'm wearing. This don't even go. And so I tend to not use these often, the newer ones, because I store stuff in size order, and these don't go it doesn't fit. And then the Sigma one that Grace sent me is larger than this. So then it's these, and then it's Sigma, and then the little tiny ones. And so even if I say I'm going to pick one at random, it's usually never one of these unless I make it a point and say, okay, let me pick one of these 2 at random. And so the 2 that I have, this is Fire Moon, and this is a they're not there for me. It's very neutral. It looks really, I don't know why I'm going like this because that's not what I'm wearing, but this is a very, very pretty color. And I like that her bronzers, well, I'll say blushes, there is something for everybody. And this is one of the other new ones, French Rosette. Just very pretty. Like, I just cannot go wrong unless I just like intentionally just keep packing. So for her bronzers, I did initially purchase medium level 7. I cannot go wrong with this, like, not at all. But then I'm like, excuse me, just like with the blushes, it's like I like it, I want to try more. So I played around with, I was chatting with a friend of mine, I tried deep level 11, you know, medium 9, whatever it was, but it just wasn't looking right. And so this is deep level 10, which even though this is described as deep neutral undertones, this to me shows up rosy. And so what I'll usually do is I'll put this on first, this area around my chin, the perimeter of my face, and because it's rosy, it's not bronzy really, but it is very pretty. And then I'll take medium level 7, which says medium to medium deep with warm rosy undertones. This is bronzy on me, this is not rosy. So I think they mixed up the undertones. And somebody said that about her foundations too, which I have not tried yet, and I'm afraid to try it because I might like it. But this is the 10, and it looks like it would be deeper than 7, but it's not. This shows up rosy on me, and it's the weirdest thing. This shows up bronzy on me, so it's the weirdest thing. But so I'll put 10, as I said, you know, along here, and I'll take 7 and I'll just put like right here, just to like deepen up where you see the hollows, and very lightly on the perimeter. And that's how I use these. And I there's a nice dip in here too. So when people talk about they wouldn't pan stuff, And it's because these are 2 of the 3 bronzers I have. The other one I have is one that Grace has sent to me. So when I like something, I do tend to stick with it. And also, I want to keep a curated collection. So I don't want a whole lot of blushes, even though I have 7 from Haus Labs. Like I don't feel the urge to let me try this bronzer, that bronzer, this, like from different brands, you know what I'm saying? And for the highlighters, the first one I purchased and the only one I had for a long time, along with the only blush I had from a long time, which was Hibiscus Haze, was Golden Pyrite, because I'm like, okay, I have a somewhat golden neutral leaning undertone to my skin, and this looks perfect on me. Her highlighters for me just give a little bit of glow, and it is just gorgeous. And I don't have this on today, so I don't know why I'm doing that, but this is what this looks like. And I was like, this is gorgeous. And I intended only to have one, but then I'm like, I want more. And so I was curious about Fire Opal, which is described as yellow orange. This, y'all, and you see the yellow and you see the orange. This, when I put it on, when the yellow shows, like it blends into my skin tone, but then when I turn a certain way, it's like, oh. So then I wanted more. And also I was thinking, I was chatting with, back when I was on my makeup Instagram, which I'm not anymore and haven't been for a long time, Heather and I were talking about, we wondered if they were going to reduce the size of the highlighters and the bronzers. And so then I'm like, oh, let me go and get some more highlighters. And I know it was silly. But then I'm like looking at more highlighters. And so I got Raw Copper. Is that what it's called? Raw Amber. It's described as a copper. So I got this one. This one is really nice too. And this one kind of blends in. It gives me a little bit more color than Golden Pyrite because that's more golden. And even though this does seem to have a golden undertone to it, that copper comes through. And it does look, it looks like a bronzer, but a light, super light, shiny bronze. And so this for me is just gorgeous. And I like how on the website, on the website, you can see the colors on different complexions. But even still, I thought I wanted rose quartz and one of the other ones, but when I swatched it in the store, it looked ashy on me, so I'm like, no. But chocolate opal. This is like a shimmery bronzer. I can just put a little bit here and it looks perfect, or just as a layering it very lightly on top of blush. I have used it just for a highlight and it was gorgeous. But this for me, if I wanted just a light dusting and just to look slightly bronze, this is great for me for all over. Or as I said, just as a highlight or just tapping a little bit, you know, on my cheek area. But this, and the same with Acai Sky. I'm like, this is so deep, I don't know. But when I put it on, it was a learning curve for me. Because if I just put it, like just go heavy as a highlighter, it's just like, okay, look like somebody punched me. But but this is gorgeous on me. And so I do recommend Haus Labs highlighters, blushes, and bronzers. And we're going to end here and we're going to be back. It'll be a moment for you. And also I need to figure out like what eyeshadow palettes I'm going to talk about. And I kind of feel like y'all know where I am with eyeshadow palettes, the brands that I have, because you see the same stuff every month, because I do like to keep a curated collection. But I am excited to finally do this video, and I'm not going to babble because we're going to be back. So just hang tight and we'll be back in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to talk about eyeshadow palettes. There's a theme to some of what you're going to see, because my preferred aesthetics are messy grunge, swamp water, vampy, dark, that type of thing. If there's color, the dark colors, you know, so you're going to see a theme for some of these palettes, and then some is just like, they're just fun. So we're going to try to make this quick because I know this is on the heels of the first part, and I did just finish a live stream and now we're back. This is the Mini Zendo palette. I really like this palette. So when I was pulling out palettes, I was thinking about, okay, the best of 2024. Does that mean stuff that came out in 2024, or just stuff that we've been using before 2024 that we think are the best still in 2024? I don't know. So, but this is just a fun palette. The colors, they show up on me well, easy to use, easy to work with. We do have 2 mattes, this one and that one. And I just like the looks that I've done with it. And I have only just used this on its own versus as a companion palette. That was Natasha Denona. We have 2 more Natasha Denona, 4 more, 3 more Natasha Denona. The Yucca palette. I love swamp water. That's what I call it. That murky type of thing. This shade is not original to this palette. And something else is not original to this palette, and I don't remember which one it is. Maybe it's only just that one. I have it on here. Yeah, that's only just this. That's the only one that's not original to this palette. But I just love the color story. I love the murkiness of it. I love the swamp water look, the mustard greens, and this looks like it wouldn't go, but this goes very well, and that's why I put this in here also to play off of that. But I really enjoy this palette, so definitely. I did get this. I do have a code 15% off, but then Ulta sometimes has 20% off codes that include prestige. I talked about that earlier, so I'm not going to talk about that now. But this was recently, what today is, July 9th. This was half off almost on Sephora, and it sold out. It was like $34 and change. And if I didn't have it, I would have purchased it. And I did think of getting a backup, but I'm like, no, because these are good for at least 2 years. The PAO is 24 months. So I'm like, so I'm gonna get that one and just sit here for like 2.5, 3, 4 years. So I did not get a backup, but definitely during one of her sales, when this one dies, I am pretty sure I will be purchasing another one. This is Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is a mix of glam and retro glam. Because some of the shades in glam did not show up on me. Some of the shades in retro glam did not show up on me. So I swapped them out, switched it around. And look at this color story, y'all. I freaking love it. I love it. I just love it. So this gives me depth, it gives me smoke and also glam at the same time. And I'm not even sure what glam makeup is, except they're not there type makeup, which I like color, but this gives me color as well. So if I want something easy, quick, and you know, some pops of color, a little bit of smoke, this gives me that, and I absolutely love it. The other Natasha Denona way off from that one. And you guys are like, how'd you go from that, from the Yucca palette to glam and retro glam to Circle Loco? Because this palette is so much friggin' fun. This palette, you see my face, how it lit up. This is just a lot of fun to use. These shades work so well together. If you have it and you don't know, this shade plays well with this one. This one has a purplish undertone. That's why it's over here with these. This shade here goes with this, goes with that, goes with that, goes with that, goes with this, goes with that. Y'all, this palette, this is a nice transition shade for me. It doesn't show up much, and it's the same shade as this one, except this is a metallic, this one is a matte. Neither one really show up on me, but they're nice for transition or just a buff out lower lash line. This can look ashy on me depending on where I put it, the same as this one, but I have found just using them just on the outer edge of another shadow and just buffing it out, these two work really well. I really like this entire palette, y'all. This one just shows up nice. I really just like this palette, and I love her cream to matte and creamy powder formulas. And so that's what we have from Natasha. We're going to throw in an easy one. This is Connecting Color Unfiltered Nudes from MAC. What you see on the outside is what you see on the inside. It's just super easy. This is just hella easy. It's not messy. If you like the high shine shimmer, you're not going to like this. You're going to get like just a little bit of shine like how this is, which is not what this palette is, but it's going to just look like this. But if you're okay with that and that's your vibe and you want to have some smoky or you want to have some neutral tones, this will do it for you. And what surprised me with this palette, even these shades right here, they showed up nice on me. They didn't show up dusty, ashy, or anything. And it shocked me because I was looking at those like, those are them kind of tones that don't really do much for me. They did something for me. This palette right here, and there's a variety in here. And I was shocked at that too in a way. But just easy to use, very, just put it on. It's going to work. Whatever you do with it, it's going to look nice. I don't think you can mess up with this palette. So that is that one. This one, oh, I'm saving my favorites for last. Oh my gosh. This one, this one, it surprised me in a way. Lethal Cosmetics Midnight Serenade. And I was not going to get it because I have Jolena, which should be dying the end of this year. And so this is my color story. You have a lot of depth in here, minus like these three right here. But all of these here show up really nice on me. And so when I saw Midnight Serenade, I'm like, it looks like a lighter Jolena palette. So if you look at these together, this is Midnight Serenade. This is, let me get my awkward ass. And this is Jolena at the bottom. So if you look at them, Midnight Serenade does look like a deeper Jolena. Jolena is no longer available. And also I didn't want, you know, these four reddish tones that's up here in Midnight Serenade. So you have your blues, you have your reds, you have, you know, greens, you have that greenish brown multi-chrome. And so, and even looking at these two shades right here, they look like these two down here. And I know I'm being weird with my fingers. But, so yeah, it's like you don't have that yellowy mustard shade up top. in Midnight Serenade. But other than that, in this dark black in this corner, you don't have Angelina. But for the most part, Midnight Serenade does look like a lighter version of Jolena to me. And so I wasn't going to get it. I love Lethal's formula, so I said, I'm going to go ahead and get it. And I got it, and you know what? I really like it. Yes, it is a lighter version, but everything in here works really well. And I need to pull this out to use again this month in July. I just did my June roundup. But this, I really did like it. I think I did at least maybe 3 looks. I'm sure I did. Because when I first get a palette, I do run through it. I use every shade at least once. And so I know with this palette, with it being 15 shades, I'm sure I did at least 3 looks. My only pet peeve that I remember, just looking at it, these 2 look the same on me, and these 2 almost look the same on me. Because I put them side by side because I wanted to see how close they were. And so it's like these 2 being the same and these 2 being the same and this one not being far off from that. I'm like, I could have just done with just this one. Because this one does show up a little bit deeper than these 3. But these 3 kind of all look the same. And that was one of the things I was saying before. I didn't want these reddish tones because they show up the same. This is the only one that showed up kind of different, surprisingly. But these 3 all could be the same shade. But everything else showed up nice. And they did show up, though. It was just 3 of the same shade. And I do like having the black in there because you can deepen it up. This is a nice multi-chrome. I forget what it turns into. But this is a really nice palette. And it does give me variety minus these 3 shades. So I am glad to have it. And I love that pop of blue that's in here. So it's the softer Jolena, but I do really enjoy it. So I'm going to leave that over here to use that again for July, because I haven't used it in a little while for no particular reason. Ooh, we're going to do those last. We're going to talk about Pat McGrath. Okay, so the motherships. There's 2 that was low tier for me that I used in June, and you can probably figure out what they were. Because I mentioned I had put them in my Macari store and then I took them out. But my favorite all-time Harry lipstick, flaking on the inside of my lip. Subliminal. I almost didn't get this one because it looked too cool tone for me online. This is annoying me. I drank some water between the live stream and being here to finish this video because it looked too cool tone for me. But when on my complexion, it pulls neutral. This palette, whatever I do with it, it gives me smoke, and I love smoky looks. And so it surprised me. I friggin' love this palette, and I'm so glad that I got it. I get Pat McGrath when they're 30%, if not 40% on sale. Motherships when they're 40% off are like $77.40. So when people say, I would never pay, full price for Pat, you don't have to. Wait for 40% off. So $77 for a 10-pan palette. We pay more than that for other stuff. So, and Sublime, Mothership number 2. This one gives me smoke too. This one, I like it because it's different. To me, her first 4 motherships were revolutionary. After that, they kind of just got boring. Brown Seduction was basic. Midnight Sun I really like because it's kind of grungy. But after that, they all kind of almost want to blend together. But anyway. But this one, I really like this one too. I need to pull this out to use this again, this one too. And not just because of this shade right here. Because everybody's like, oh, this shade, this shade, this shade. But I do like this side of the palette too because the shades just work for me. And sometimes I honestly don't want to deal with the celestial shades because some of them are flaky and some of them are not. And I don't like messy shadows. But this one is one of my best of the best as well. And number 3. The first 3 are my all-time favorite motherships. This is going to give me grunge, and this one's going to give me smoke. I don't care that the same black is in all 3 because I use them whenever I use that palette. Most likely I do. And these celestial shades in here are not flaky. They're not really messy. But this gives me smoke. This gives me grunge. If I want to pop this somewhere and place it with anything else, it's going to give me that grungy vibe. If I want vampy, I have this right here with these shades right here. This, yeah. So best of the best 2024. Motherships 1, 2, and 3. And me peeling off lipstick off my teeth. Also for the motherships, I talked about Midnight Sun already. This is one of my favorites too. So here it is. You got that grunge. you got that grunge. And I saw someone recently do a look with this, and they're not a packer, meaning I pack shadow on. We're going to see all the colors, and they This is a deep shade, and they use this one too. Using these two, you're going to get swampy. It's going to be grungy. But they had a light hand, and I'm not sure if they use blending brushes or not, but it was not like very dark, deep, like how I pack on color. But I'm like, that's a really cute kind of golf, the grungy type look. And I was just like, wow, because I always pack on color so heavy. I was just like, oh, but it was so pretty though. I'm like, maybe I should do a lighter hand, not always pack stuff for it. But I'm a troll, so that's what I do here. But this is one of my other favorite motherships of all time, 1 through 3, and number 6, which is Midnight Sun. Because it's going to give me grunge. Anything I do with this is going to give me grunge. And not that cutesy grunge unless I go light-handed like the video I saw. But I like that messy grunge where it's kind of like, that looks a little messy, but it's kind of cute. Those are the messy grunge looks I'm talking about. Moonlit Seduction, mothership number 10. I really freaking love this palette. It doesn't have a lot of versatility in it for me, but something about how the shadows, how they show up and how they look, this is something about this shade right here. It looked basic as hell. That silver shade, but I'm telling you, I love, dare I say that's my favorite in the palette. This one is flaky. I've learned to work with it. I've learned to appreciate it. I got to get the flake on and then smear it out. But other than that, everything in here is easy to work with. So this one was a learning curve, but I just love this palette. It's not basic, but it's not like boom pow. It's not that messy grunge. It's not smoky like the other motherships I've shown you, or even grungy like Midnight Sun. But it's just something about this. Every look I've done, I've really loved this palette. So if your vibes are similar to my vibes, if your preferred aesthetics are similar to mine, then I do recommend motherships 1 through 3. Number 6, Midnight Sun, and Moonlit Seduction. All right, we're going to get down to it. We got 4 more palettes, y'all. These right here. I'm trying to figure out the one that I'm least excited about to show you, because I'm excited about all of these that I'm about to show you. Like, for real. This is my first time using what's on my eye today, so I'm not going to count this one, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be up there. This one is from Salem Cosmetics. Back when I was still on my makeup Instagram, she said they had these in stock and they were shipped like that week. And I'm like, ooh, because Salem Cosmetics takes a long time to ship. And this was on sale for $29 and some change. And this one is Sassy Fairy collab palette In My Dreams. And I had saw it, but I didn't pay any attention to it because I'm like, blues and reds. But for $29 and some change, and it being in stock, meaning, and it did ship the next day. It shipped out the next day and I had it within a week, and I'm like, wow. But so for the price of this and the looks I did, it surprised me. And I do have a playlist for every palette that I'm showing you. Just look up Salem Cosmetics. You'll find this one. Pat McGrath, each one of the motherships has his own playlist. Natasha Denona, each one has his own playlist. I do have a code for Natasha. I do have a Shop My Link for Pat. And also you can get Pat at Sephora or Ulta, so those links are below. I have a unaffiliated code for Salem Cosmetics, but the shipping takes a long time. But if you see something that's on sale, or if on her Instagram, which I no longer see, if it says it's in stock, you can just message her. She's very responsive, and say how long would it take to ship. She'll let you know. And she had said, you know, a day or two, and it shipped the next day. So that's why I got it, and I'm glad I did. And the looks, this surprised me. This is not a monochromatic palette. The looks was like, whoa. And it gave me, you know, that grunge that I like, and also the darkness and the depth that I like in these shades. And so I was really surprised. So this is one of my best of 2024. This one, it makes me sad in a way because eventually it's going to die and I'm going to miss it. And even though I have done other looks with other palettes that I can dupe for looks I've done with this palette, and some of you already know what I'm talking about. Martine Cosmetics 669. Tanya said it once in a video. She said this isn't all-in-one for me. I got my grunge, my messy grunge swamp water. I got vampy. I got, you know, smoke. Any vibe, any of my preferred aesthetics. Swampy, grungy, smoky, vampy. That's all in this one palette, y'all. This is a multi-chrome. It's pink and then it's green. I put this over MAC Paint Pot, a black one. This is beautiful. The only shade that's flaky is this one, meaning it'll pick up on the brush, you put it on your lid, and I feel it falling out over my face. I'm like, what is it with that? And this is Cornelia. So this is the only one that is just problematic. And so I just know, just press it right on top of the primer, like press it and wiggle it in and then just leave it alone. But everything else in here, the mattes in here, the metallics, some people complained when it first came out. This is a matte black. This is like a smoke gray. No, this is a smoke gray. This is a matte black. This is a black with shimmer. People are like, you don't need 3 blacks in here. Well, you know what? I use all 3 of them. Like, I don't care. And they do show up a little different if you want to be nuanced with it. But at first glance, it's like, okay, you got 3 blacks. Why? They all serve a purpose for me. If that's your vibe and you like dark, you like smoke, you like grunge, you like, you know, swamp water looks, and you have some pops. This is a dual chrome. I believe this one is a dual chrome as well. This one already showed you the dual chrome. This is just a beautiful palette, and I'm really gonna miss it when it goes. Thankfully, the PAO for Martine Cosmetics is 24 months, and actually my label here, because I'm a label whore, says that the PAO was reached January 2024. So this is already like 6 months technically expired. And last time I used it, I forget what shadow I used, my eyelids burned. I'm like, no, don't dye it, don't dye it. And I don't remember which shadow it was, but I was just like, no, because I freaking love this palette. This would definitely be a repurchase every time it died, every few years. And so I'm hanging on to it. I need to use it again and use more shades and see. But out of like the 5 shades I used, or 6, only 1, and my lid was burning, and I was just like, no. This one, Notoriously Morbid. Did I say I have a code for this? This one I actually purchased. This is before I started receiving PR from them. This is Bog Witch, y'all. What you see is what you get. This looks like a green palette. The looks I did with this, I was just like, what? This is so rich. This is so rich. This is so bright, bold. Oh my gosh, I friggin' love, I love this palette. And even though I have the Yucca palette, the Yucca palette, it's different tones of greens. They're green palettes, but they are very different. But this, it makes, I'm stuttering. I get this way. I start stuttering because I'm just like beside myself. Like, do you see me sitting over here? I'm so excited. The last one, y'all already know. Put a timestamp and put below what this is. A palette that always lights up my face, and y'all be saying it with me. Beans and booty. Mothman from Notoriously Morbid. This was my introduction to the brand. I saw this on somebody's video and I said, I'm getting it, and I got it. I paid full price for this. It was $69.99. It took like a month to ship. I didn't care. This, here I go stuttering again. There's only 2 mattes in here, this one and this one. And for the longest time, the first few looks, I did not like how this looked on me. Even though it's mustard, I did not like how this looked on me. So I said, you know what? I need to try something different. So I put this on first half of the lid, put that on second half of the lid. I topped it with something. I'm like, oh, these is pretty. I'm like, where was I at before? That this one I didn't like how it looked, and this one I didn't. But when I layered one of these other shades, dual chrome, shimmers, multi-chromes, I was like, this is pretty. So it was just a little bit peeking out, excuse me for smacking, up here, because I put it all over the lid, like how this shade is all the way up to here. And so when I topped it, it was only to here. So you just saw like a hint of it up here. Y'all, them shades. I was like, what? And it surprises me because a lot of these are shifty shades. And so when I'm looking over here, like to me, this, what am I looking at? This to me, looking over here, looks like a bright green, and over where you are, it really doesn't. This one I'm looking here looks like a hot pink. Where you are, it's like a gold and then just a regular pink. This shade, I see a dark emerald green. Where you are, it's not. And so when I use this and I'm like, oh, this shade, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, which one? Because it looks different. This I see like a golden green, and where you are, it's orange. And so I'm always like looking back and forth like, okay, what am I looking at? This I see like a fiery red. You know what I'm saying? So this palette excites me. I think I might have paired it with Biba one time, I think. All the other times I use it on its own, and because it only has 2 mattes, and most people do transition and then crease, they'll say this is a companion palette because you don't have other matte options. But I'll do an all shimmer look in a minute. I'll do an all matte look in a minute. But this palette on its own for me is always going to be at the top. And I saw that they said they were bringing it back. I didn't know it left because it was always still on the website. But I really hope that this stays around for a very long time, because this would be one that I would repurchase. The PAO, I think I already said it, for Notoriously Morbid, it's 24 months. No, that was Martine Cosmetics, which is also 24 months. And so I opened this March 2023, so technically it's good till March 2025. But this is definitely one that I would repurchase. This is one of the most unique palettes in my stash. And so that is it for this video. Let me know what you think of my picks. So the only one that was kind of off was this one because it's like super basic. But if you don't want something like Beans and Booty or Circle Loco or one of the motherships, or you know, the Sassy Fairy in My Dreams, if you just want something, or Bog Witch or Lethal Midnight Serenade, this is different from all of that. It's just easy, it's simple, it's basic, and it's going to be a nice look. And so that'll be it for my 2024 favorites. The last thing, excuse me for smacking, the last thing I'm going to mention, only because it's sitting here looking at me, is Fashion Fair Set It Loose Powder. The shade I wear is Truly Tawny. When I put this on, you cannot tell. When I put it on and pat it out, this is actually the brush I use. You'll see it when I first put the brush there, but once I go like this is my skin tone. They only have, I think, 5, maybe 6 shades. I will say, if they have one that's exactly your tone, or one that blends into your tone, even if it's not your skin tone. And I say it that way because some translucent powders look dusty on me. Some of them look gray on me. And I'm like, you're supposed to be translucent, but you're showing up like a pale gray. So if you can find your shade in the Fashion Fair Set It Loose powder, since I started using this, I got rid of my Hourglass. What other one was I using? Laura Mercier. Because I was using Laura first, like eons ago, because it was like Laura. And then I tried Hourglass. Laura was like, bye, girl. Hashtag girl, bye. And when I tried the Fashion Fair one, I did try to go back to the Hourglass one, the translucent one, but it made my under eye look a little shallow. Is it shallow or sallow? It made it look a little grayish. This I can put all over my face and under my eye, and it looks the same. This is what I have on now. And so, you know, Hourglass went away again because I could use it everywhere else, but under my eyes it made it look funky. But if you can find the Fashion Fair Set It Loose powder, if they have one that is your skin tone or one that completely just is transparent, not transparent, translucent on you, I do really recommend this. It's very finely milled, and because this is the only one I use, I go through this 6-7 months. I use the whole thing. This is a newish one because I used the other one up. So this has been my go-to for years. Look at my thumb. For years and years. It's just very finely milled. It doesn't feel heavy. It never feels cakey. I mean, look at it. This face has been on now for like at least a good 5 hours, and this is my 3rd video today, and I'm still looking good. And I sprayed with the Scandinavia spray that I showed you earlier, and this is the Fenty foundation and primer. But anyway, so yeah, I do recommend this. If you're stuck on Lorah, give it a try. Just give it a try. Buy it on sale or whatever, because you can return it if you don't like it, or give it to a friend or whatever. But I do recommend you try it. Derma Blend, a lot of people still use the Derma Blend powder. And then who's the other one? Oh, an Hourglass. But this one beat out Derma Blend, Lorah, and Hourglass, because I can put this all over and you see how it looks. My under eye looks fine. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about my best of 2024. And you know, if you have some of those products, what are your thoughts on them? If you're intrigued to try them, like if you've never tried Inglot liners, let me know what you think about those. Or if you're intrigued to try them. And that's going to be it. I mean, I think we all know where we are with Pat these days. I think most of us are bored at this point. And you notice these are older motherships. Circle Loco, if you have it, let me know. That palette is so much freaking fun. And yeah, I'm starting to babble. I need to eat lunch. It's almost 10 at night and I haven't eaten lunch yet. I had breakfast at like 6 o'clock. I'm nocturnal, if you didn't know. So we're going to go. Thank you for being here. But do let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you knew Beans. Booty. Oh, I love this palette. So much fun. and my Teen Cosmetics, I did email them like, are you going to bring 669 back? And they're like, no, but we have other exciting stuff. And I'm like, it's not exciting for me. I want 669. I'm not going to hiccup the second time, excuse me. I'm not going to start whining about 669, but I am going to definitely miss it when it's gone. Thank you for being here. Do let me know your thoughts down below. Something will pop up over here for you to watch, so hang tight for that. Subscribe if you have not done so already and you've been here before, and just go through my channel. Join if you're interested in that. You do get some perks with it that I think are awesome, and my current members, you know, they're digging it. So we're just going to keep rolling with that and continue building upon that. As always, self-acceptance, self-love, that is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon. Back again really quick. I didn't talk about eyeshadow brushes in this video because I have eyeshadow brush collections coming up by brand, and yeah, so you will hear what I think about Scott Barnes, Sigma. I think the Sigma ones are already up. Fenty, and my Sephora collection brushes. And what else am I missing? Oh, and then just some other, Hourglass brushes. And so I'm not going to talk about the best of 2024 brushes because you'll hear in those videos why I adore or not those brushes. And so we're really going to go this time. Thanks.